All right. What's up, everybody? Today I just want to talk about something that actually bothers me a lot. And it's not all the time, but when it pops up, it's something that really does bother me. It affects me, especially if it's coming from people that I like. And that topic is standing by your word. Being true to your word, walking the walk instead of talking the talk, or any other way of expressing that phrase that you prefer. So, what does standing by your word mean? As you know, nearly all of us have the option to speak. We have the ability to express ourselves verbally. And some of us make it our business to make sure that when we do express ourselves verbally, we let our actions follow those words. And I feel like that's a good way to be. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there who either do it actively don't follow their own word, or lazily don't follow their own word, or maybe there's a lot of people out there who don't really give it much thought. So I thought I'd make this video not just to have a rant, but maybe help someone out there who didn't really take the time to sit and think about the consequences of what following your word or what not following your word has in your life. So when communicating, we more or less as people have two different options. When giving someone your word, when promising someone something, or even when sharing something that you feel strongly about with another person, we have two options. The first option is to stand by what we have said and to make that reflect in our actions, or in some cases, which is often the easier option, is to let that happen whether it's convenient or not at the time. So whether or not you feel like doing it when that time actually comes is when you fulfill that promise, or when you keep your word, or when you follow through with that thing that you said that you feel very strongly about. So for me, out of these two options, there is only one that is acceptable. And obviously that's to stand behind your word. As the famous quote in the Scarface movie that a lot of us know, in this world, I only have my word and my balls, and I don't break them for nobody. That resonated with me. I saw Scarface when I was pretty young, and that resonated with me. He's a gangster. He's not a good guy by any means, but I feel like there's a lot of weight in that saying, in that little sentence, because you shouldn't break your word for anybody, including yourself. Firstly, yourself, but definitely not friends, family, or your peers. And I think it's important to discuss or to point out the pitfalls of what that could actually lead to in your life. Because it might be a little thing. You might promise someone that you're going to meet someone somewhere at a certain time. You might promise someone that you will help them out with something that they're doing. You might even just talk very strongly about what it is that you do, some of your hobbies or whatnot. And slowly, it doesn't happen instantly unless it's a very big thing. If someone breaks a really big promise to you, your credibility just drops, just plummets. And for most self-respecting people, your image with them is ruined. But it can also happen on much smaller levels. With these smaller little activities, these little things that you're promising or the things that you're talking about. Slowly over time, if a person who's conscious and analyzes their surroundings and tries to make the best environment possible for themselves, if they notice this, that's going to bleed into your entire character. If you become that guy or that girl who doesn't follow through with what they say, for most people, that's very damaging to your character. And me especially, I'm a big victim of this because I hold myself to this standard very, very highly and very strictly. I don't let myself tell anyone anything that I don't truly, truly believe I'm going to follow through with. And I guess in turn that means that I hold the people around me to a very high standard, and it really gets to me. It fucks me up in my head when people don't, even small things. And after a few small things have built up, I will sit a person down and I'll say, listen up, this is bleeding into your entire character now, because I can't just look at these as isolated incidents. If you've told me this on numerous occasions, and you haven't followed through, now I'm questioning everything about you, because I don't know how true to yourself you are. So if you're not true to yourself, then how can you be true to me? How could you be a reliable person when it comes down to it? How could I look to you when I'm in a time of need. You know, just as I expect you to be able to look to me in a time of need. I'm a very giving person, and I have a lot of love and a lot of time for all the people in my life. But that is a two-way street. You know, you can't just abuse that. So I don't want to rant too long about it. I hope that I've got the point across effectively. But just have a think about it next time when you're promising someone something. You know, you have the option. You don't have to promise it. You don't have to sit down and give that person your word. If you don't feel confident in your ability to achieve that goal, then just keep it to yourself until that time comes. And that will really help increase your credibility amongst your peers and really help people to respect you more, you know? I think a lot of people who are living that way don't really notice the way that people look at them, but it does pay just to sit back and kind of look at it, because it can be very detrimental to your character. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. You can let me know your thoughts. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. But as always, I'm always open to suggestions. So have a good one.